I started very young in the film industry. I was 17 when I went to the Film Academy in Amsterdam, and to be honest, I only had seen one film in the theater before I went to the academy, so it was a little bit of almost like a lucky stroke. And then when I came into the academy and started seeing films, I got hooked. So there's not a specific moment that I thought, oh, I have to make films. There was not an epiphany. But it was during the course of the Film Academy. I suppose around when I was 18, I couldn't imagine doing anything else anymore. I was 21 when I left the Film Academy, and I was very lucky. Immediately a producer offered me a film. It was a short, but 4 of the shorts together went into the theater. And I did it because I thought, you know, maybe I'll never be asked again, so I thought this is my chance. And we made the film, and I didn't particularly thought it was very good. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make a film myself with my own money. It's going to be a feature film. Everybody told me, don't do it, you're going to lose your money, you'll never make a film again. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it, why not? And we had a crew of 6 people. It's almost like now with this film, with Love, Honor and Obey, we're returning to that stage again. Make a film for very little means, but have an enormous pleasure in it, in doing it. There's nothing better than just making a film. If you're extremely conscious of how good a film is and career oriented and all that, it might be smarter to wait a little bit and do some apprenticeships. But I've always believed that the best way to make a film is make a film. I was, you know, when I was 23, I made my first feature. When I was 27, I made a feature that was a huge success, still one of the most successful films ever. When I was 29, I made another big one. By the time I was 32, I'd made 6 features in Holland, and some of them extremely successful. And I realized I could stay there until I was 65 and make subsidized films. And the challenge was gone. So I literally took my 2 suitcases, one with some videos of my films, another with some clothes, and I went to Hollywood where I didn't know anyone, and I wanted to start all over again. So it was a jumping into the deep end. Yeah, I did very little TV. I did Miami Vice when I was in America. I did some TV when I went in the 90s in Germany, but they were movies of the week. My feeling has always been, people often talk about TV and feature films as a difference in the way of shooting. There is a difference, you know, it's a little bit more static in TV, it's a little bit more close-up, but those differences are very arbitrary. It's particularly a way of thinking. In cinema, and I mean big cinema, you think far more philosophical. And in TV, you think far more social. The subjects are like small social subjects, but problems between people that play on an emotional level. While in cinema, though you have a lot of emotions, there's usually a bigger layer beyond it. And that is the big difference. That's why I'm never a big fan of people doing both, because I think you think differently. And I feel that if you want to make films for the theaters, for the cinema, you should be very careful in not doing too much television. Yeah, it's going to sound strange, but I think it's better if you direct films that somebody else writes. Because if you write yourself and you direct it, you're gonna respect your own writing too much. While if you direct somebody else's script, you interpret it, so you go into another level. While if you have written it, you already know what you intended, and you're gonna recreate as a director what you intended as a writer. So you have more freedom, strangely enough, if you direct a script that's not been your own. Also, you know, you have the whole input of somebody else, a different writer. You can make it your own, you can work with it, but all in all, I would say it is almost better to direct something that you didn't write. I've done both. You know, of course, I'm not going to say that the other way is wrong, but I have felt in the course of the years that you can make more of your own film if you have a little bit of distance towards the script. Yeah, I think the biggest budget I had was something like, if you say it in euros or in pounds or in dollars, if it was dollars it was probably $20 million budget, euros were about 15 or something. And the smallest films I made have been like, let's say, under $100,000. And the difference is you buy possibilities in correcting your mistakes. If you have a lot of money, you sometimes can make a mistake and you have the possibility of correcting it. But money is not always a blessing, because if you know that you have a way out, you're less determined in doing the right thing immediately. But of course you have production value, you have other things, people get paid well, and you can't always make films for free. But ultimately the money is not a decisive factor. It is an additional factor, and the only thing what money does in general, if you have a high budget, generally the distributors and the people who basically bring the film to the audience, they take it more serious because they have more of a vested interest. Yeah, the most important thing is see everything you can see every film you can see. It doesn't matter what genre it is, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, it's almost better to see bad films. And you will, at a certain point, you will see every change of angle, you will see every cut in the film, you will learn why people are looking away, why they do this, why they do that. And have a life, you know, don't have a life only in the cinema, but have a life in the real life. So see a lot of films and be a part of society. That is the most important things you can do. And the rest you'll learn on the way.